Hello everybody, my name's Garrett and I want to welcome you to Poolbot Medic.
Okay, so I'm going to show y'all how to diagnose a wire the proper way, alright? And you can make it simple as long as you've got the right stuff to do it. You need a voltmeter that does continuity, and the tone is really probably the best thing to use if you're doing the job by yourself. Otherwise, you've got to sit there and look at the resistance on the meter. So you're going to set to ohms, which will be the upside down horseshoe, but I'm going to turn on the buzzer, so I'm pushing the buzzer button, and whenever I have continuity or when the circuit is connected properly, I will have a buzz. So now I've got it connected, and I've got a great connection on two of the wires all the time, but one of the wires does not have a connection, and it is one of the power wires, so the robot's not working. It's not the communication wire. So anyways, this one's got a bad swivel, and what you got is, if I play with this swivel, see, I get continuity. All I'm doing is pushing down on the spring-loaded piece right there, and boom, I've got my continuity. All right, so we know our problem's in the swivel at this point. If you couldn't find it in the swivel by turning the wire or pinching it together, then you need to start looking at where your wire goes into the robot. Areas like this, you'll bend them and flex them around. You can see that this is not changing my continuity any. So we know that we definitely have an issue inside the swivel. The way you want to look at these swivels is, this is a keeper to keep this thing in place to make sure that the seal works right. These are break. If you pull on this cable too hard, you're going to break this, and sooner or later it's going to end up causing your swivel to possibly leak. So the next step to do on this one is, it might be repairable. So we're going to open it up. We're going to look inside of it. As long as everything looks good in there, I'm going to take and probably put new pins in it and see if it fixes it. If it doesn't look good in there, well, you either got to decide if one side is usable or not, which sometimes they are not, and then determine which side of the wire you have to replace. Most of the time, the seal failure is on this side. Okay, it's not your O-rings on this side, and these are not replaceable. They are, but you got to cut the cable and re-splice everything to do it. But a little more work than what most people are willing to do. But anyways, that is how you diagnose a problem whenever you've got a wire issue. Another thing to check while you're in there is, you'll double check that none of the wires are crossed. So you'll come over to your connector with your continuity meter, and you'll check all the connectors. If you get a buzzer between the terminals, then you've got a wire that is actually shorted to another wire, most likely. And it definitely is not going to work, and most likely your power supply is blacking out if you have a crossed wire. So we're going to look inside the swivel. Hopefully it's repairable, because the wire is really not in that bad a shape.